What's up, everybody? This your girl, CC, Where It Begins Magazine, and I got my co-host, Theo, on the line. Hey, how are you?
Good, CC. How you doing today?
I'm good. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday to you. Another Wednesday, another round of dope interviews with dope people. So excited about our first guest today.
Yes, I am excited, but we're going to go into let him introduce himself of who he is, what he does, and where he's from.
What's up, world? Thank you guys so much for having me. My name is Evan Brown, aka Coach Ev. That's, I guess, my persona, my other person. I'm a life and business strategist from Atlanta, Georgia, but based here in Chicago, Illinois. And I really just help people be better and maximize their impact and income simultaneously. I've been doing this for about 6 years now. I've been blessed to be able to help a lot of people make a lot of good money. And that's what sometimes enhances the quality of your life. And so, yeah, that's me. That's me. Real simple. Just love to do my part in the world by making it a better place, by empowering people to be at their best.
Woo, well, you could come on over here and help WIB, and I'm out of booth right there. Come on and get us to our 6 figures real fast.
That's it.
But let's talk about a little bit about your journey and how you got to where you are today.
Oh, yeah. I've had a pretty interesting journey. I went off to college, ended up attending an HBCU, which was not my original plan, but I'm so glad I did because I got there, got engulfed with my Blackness, learned more about my culture that I had not had a chance to experience. And life just took off from there. I became a product of really like you picking up skills every step of the way in your journey, everything from being in school, finally learning how to manage my time well, to my college jobs, to my intern I got after school, to my first couple jobs from there. It just really started to show me that I had the skill set, or that I picked up the skill set on the journey called life, that I ultimately one day, it's like I was sitting in the bed and a light bulb came on. I was like, I know how to figure stuff out. I know how to plan stuff. I know how to organize stuff. I got this business degree. I could really help people make this stuff make sense. And it went from there. It really went from there. I started off planning conferences and workshops. And that started off as like, minor stuff. Like, oh, help somebody have a one-time event type thing. And I recognized that, you know what, I need to give me to somebody who has like an individual product. I met this lady named Danielle Levine. I'll never forget her. She wanted to create a planner. Now, mind you, I had never created a planner, barely used one at the time, but I was like, I'm gonna help you figure this out for me. This lady sold 600 planners in 5 days. Now, mind you, that was not in the day and age where social media was like booming. Danielle was selling planners out of her trunk, at the barbershop, at the strip club, at the school, at the church. Like, people were just saying, hey, you know what? I want one. And I recognized in that moment, I've got what it takes to help people make some stuff happen, connecting the dots, like really just taking things that are just locked in their heads for whatever reason. I'm gonna help you pull that out and put some legs to it so that you can at least be in a position to make a little bit more money. And so that's how the journey came in, just very organically. We going through life, matriculating through life, just like most people, going through things, figuring stuff out, picking up skills that we don't realize we picked up. But it's all about making the moment, or making the determining, that having that ideal moment where you say, you know what, I'm gonna put this stuff together and see how it works out for me.
Wow, that's a lot to take in right there.
That's dope. Let me ask this question now.
Okay.
When you had that success with Danielle, did you realize that you had the formula to fully help her then? Or sometimes I know we stumble into, especially early, some of our successes. At what moment, or was that the moment when you realized you actually had the formula for the special sauce for it?
So, as you mentioned, I stumbled into it, but I recognized then I had the formula for success. And it really what it was is something as simple as this. I chose to look back at my past jobs and say, what skills did I get there that I could put into place here? It was almost like I took a personal assessment of my career journey, my life journey. And I said, you know what? I picked up communication skills. I picked up time management stuff. I picked up organizational things. I figured out marketing. I have learned a lot on the journey that really just needed to be compiled. And I honestly believe if more people would spend some time and just review their journey and say, what have I learned? Almost like you got to chart it, write it out. What have I picked up? What did I do here that I could utilize later on in life? We'd realize that every step of this journey called life is giving us what we need for where we are, and most importantly, where we're going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of times when people that are successful look back at it, they already had the skill set.
Absolutely.
And just need to add a couple things on to it. So it sounds like you're definitely a good person to talk to get them in the right place. Let me ask you a question though. What's your best customer, your preferred customer? Who's the customer that's ideal for your situation?
Okay, so for me, starting out, I was like one of those, just like probably most people who are starting business or starting entrepreneurship. I was trying to work with everybody. I was like, if you got an issue or a problem, I'm your guy. I am no longer that guy. At this moment in time, I've narrowed it down or niched down to mid-level entrepreneurs. So mid-level entrepreneurs to me are those who've been in business, but probably haven't cleared that 50K a year mark. I'm a firm believer in manifestation. I know a lot of people are tapping into, I'm gonna be a millionaire. But when it comes to business, you got to learn the science behind the first 50K before you can make the science, get the understanding and the mindset and the wisdom to move into that $1 million mark. So me, I'm in that mid-levelpreneur. I feel like I'm assigned to mid-levelpreneurs, those who've kind of maybe gotten to that 30K, not quite made 50K, or definitely not a scale past 100. Because once you start to get past 100 repeatedly, you scaled your business in a way that is systematically, it is doing way more than what most people will realize it is. So I'm definitely for that person in that middle ground. Like, hey, I've got my idea, I've got my initiative, I've got my business, I've been doing it, but I have not been seeing what I know that I should be seeing. And often those are a few small tweaks, of kind of changing up some mindset, some new information typically, and then boom, now you're at that 75 to 100K mark. And I believe this, if you can do it once, you can do it twice. And if you can do 100K in a year, you can do 100K in a month, but you got to do that year first.
Okay. So it sounds like a solid strategy. You know who you want to work with.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
That's good. That's good. I'm sorry, CC, you were about to ask a question.
Oh, no, but I could go ahead. How did you get into self-publishing?
So that crazy story. I met a lady over the years when I talked about picking up skills. I was in 25, 26, and I was like, I want a little part-time side hustle. Met a Black woman. She ended up having a publishing company. She was like, I just need some more hands to help me do stuff. I can teach you how to do it. I just need somebody to help me do it. And I was like, this little extra $100 a week come in handy. You know, I'm fresh out of school. The cost of living in life was not as high as expensive that it was. That little $100 on top of my full-time job really kind of made a difference. So she taught me the game. She said, I started a publishing company. She's the first Black woman and the only Black woman in Alabama, first Black woman in Alabama to have a publishing company, which is crazy. That's Alabama for you. She said, I'll teach you this. Do what you want to do with it. So I worked with her for 6 months. She taught me the basics of editing. She taught me how to format books. She taught me the science behind self-publishing. She gave me the game, and I'd worked with her for 1.5 years. And so when I left, I was like, hey, you know what? This has been a beautiful journey. I don't want to be an independent publisher like this. This was a great while it lasted, but thank you for the skill set. But something in me said, ask her, can I buy a program from her? Because she had a program she created that she piloted that she didn't like. And she didn't want to fine tune, but I saw the potential to fine tune it later on down the line. And I said, can I buy this program for you? She sold it to me for $250. My last check, she kept because she gave me that program, which I've in turn used 5 years later. And it easily scaled past $30,000 in that one program that I didn't have to write, but I definitely had the idea, the opportunity to kind of fine tune it. So between her teaching me the game, me moving into business, recognizing that people with books or individuals who typically can sit down and curate and put together a body of work are often able to pitch themselves as subject matter experts a little easier. I recognize, hey, you know what, with my business strategy stuff and what I'm helping individuals do, I can help them pull their ideas and not just put them into business, but sometimes pull their ideas and put them into written bodies of work, because I do believe this. The gems of life are locked up in books, and that's why a lot of people don't read. And on the flip side of that, books will last forever. You won't. None of us will last forever, but a book can last forever and can go further than what you ever could. And so I decided, light bulb day. I really have a lot of light bulb days where I'll just sit there and I'm like, hey, you know what? Let me just put this together. And so that's what I did. I put that skill set and I said, you know what? Let me test it out with my own books at this moment in time. And then boom, took off like wildfire. People's like, oh, I want to make an ebook. I need to create a digital download. I want to write a devotional. I'm like, well, I'm your guy. I know how to do it. And whatever I don't know how to do, I'm willing to figure out to close that gap. So that way I can create that full service experience. So it came by way of me wanting to make a couple extra $400 a month. And it turned into a revenue generator for me. That in the pandemic, we helped over 127 authors release their bodies of work.
Wow.
That's crazy. Like 127 people. And most of them looked like me, which is the best part about it. They were able to put their bodies of work into use because people had time to finish stuff they hadn't started. time to finish stuff they had started they did like, hey, you know what? Life's going on. I got kids, I got family. I don't have the time for this. People had time. They also recognized that their stability was not what they thought it was. They were interested and willing to dive into other lanes to be able to establish themselves financially and sometimes establish themselves from a public figure standpoint. And they were like, let's get these books here. Let me finish this stuff. I got 4 or 5 of them done that they just been sitting on my computer. And I'm like, that's crazy because those are revenue generating opportunities. Your books can turn into courses, webinars, conferences, all these different things simply because you took the time to put your intellect, put your brain on a sheet of paper or on a document or computer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We're about to go ahead and work on this book, Theo. You know what I mean? Especially because I'm a bookworm.
Yeah, that's it. That really is it.
The life and chronicles of CCATL, where it begins. I'm waiting on that book.
I feel like that's going to be a good one.
It will be.
But what are some other things you got going on for 2022?
So this year, I made the decision that I'm leaving nothing on the table. That's been my mantra, my daily affirmation, what do you want to think about? It's on my screensaver. I'm leaving nothing on the table. So I am finally choosing to package some of the stuff that I had not created the time to package before and to do some stuff I had done. So I'm going to be launching into my first group coaching program called the First 50K in about a month and a half, where I'm going to prepare entrepreneurs to make that first 50K. As I mentioned to you guys earlier, I'm a firm believer that, wanting to make $1 million is beautiful, great, but you got to have the science behind the first 50K. You don't stumble into a multi-million-dollar business. Some people are blessed to be able to do so. I mean, whether it's, what's the girl that did the crayon makeup? Like, people can stumble into stuff, but majority of us have to systematically walk into and build what it is that we're trying to establish. And so I've created this 8-week program to take entrepreneurs and prepare them to make their first 50K, where we deal with everything from systems to logic, to thinking, to branding, to marketing, do's and don'ts, teaching people the basics of business, money from jump, because people don't recognize that making money in 2022 is easy, but making money the right way is not the easiest thing, because Black people in business and taxes and actually, having their businesses logged with their state, that kind of stuff really does matter. So we're handling all of that. But most important, those last 4 weeks, we're really diving into some high level stuff, because I do believe it's a science to the first 50K. It's not just going to be by habit You got to be intentional about what you're doing. So that, and I wrote my first children's book, which I'm excited about. It's called The Rich Kids. It's a story for kidpreneurs in the making. My nephew one day walked around the house with a book that the kid on the front did not look like him. And I asked my sister, I was like, where'd you get this from? She was like, Target. And I said, okay, I've got to do something about that, because my Black nephew, and this is my personal opinion, is reading a book that is not showing him that he exists in so many words. And because my thing is business, I do believe this, that Black and brown kids have to recognize that you can make a bag, or, whatever, secure the bag, whatever they're saying, in so many ways that it's not rap and basketball. We got to get out of that. So this book is designed to open up kids from K1 through and K through 2 into the ways that entrepreneurship happened. When I grew up outside of town, I grew up in Atlanta, that I was born in, I saw kids having lemonade stands. That wasn't abnormal. On a Saturday morning, I saw kids participating in garage sales, but I feel like that level of knowledge and information that pushed those seeds that their parents were planting in them, we need to plant into our children, to recognize that, their lemonade stand may sound good or may not be as hard for you to do, but you made a dollar or a cup or whatever it may be. We're teaching somebody how to be self-sufficient in a way that once they get degrees and certifications, they'll recognize, I'm not limited to this. You're not gonna get rich off a 9-to-5, not no more. You got doctors and lawyers that are still got $400,000 in student loan debt. You're not getting rich off that. But what you can do, passive income, real estate, and sometimes just having your hands in stuff that you don't have to be passionate about, but you have enough knowledge to say, hey, you know what, I can invest in this because there's no hookah lounge in my area, but I see hookah is very popular. I'm gonna put 10K into this, and I'm gonna let this run a bag up on me, because guess what? I don't have to go there, I don't have to manage it. I'm a silent investor, but thinking at that level, so that's what the book exposes, and it pushes them to think, to make affirmations, and just kind of read a story about a young Black man, a young Black kid who saw different things, whose parents empowered him to be everything he wanted to be and didn't limit him to, you know, ball playing and making music. So those are my two biggest things for this year that I'm super excited about. Of course, got a few small other things like, you know, the free workshops I'm doing, the one-on-one sessions, but those two things specifically, I am like really excited about because I recognize that, I mean, your impact is your income. If I can make an impact, I can make money. But if I focus on making an impact first, income has to find me. That's just kind of how manifestation, the law of attraction, and even my religious beliefs works. If I do my part, what I need is going to show up because I'm doing my part.
That's dope. That's dope.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's the name of the book again?
So it's called Rich Kids, a story for kidpreneurs in the making.
Okay. Well, hopefully that's the first one in the series, because that's definitely a topic that we here fully support and definitely needed in all communities. But especially, I agree, we need that in ours.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely. So it sounds like the purpose of the book is kind of to pour back into the, you know, to the kids, give them that confidence. Take me back a little bit. Who's the first person that really poured that confidence, that drive into you, that planted that seed that got you to where you are today?
Man, I'm going to say both my parents, because if I pick one, it's going to start an in-the-house war. So I'm going to say my parents. I have a very interesting, you know, I don't have the rags to riches story, but my parents do. My dad grew up on this side of the tracks. My mom grew up on that side of the tracks. So they had their own individual fights, you know, just kind of making it from one side or the other. But they made it. And in addition to their making, they made sure that we, my brother and I and my sister, we all understood the value of hard work. Like if you work hard enough, you can get anything. My dad has always told me that. My mom has always told me, you don't always have to be the smartest, but you never let somebody outwork you. And so that became my doorway, my path, especially when I like stepped into entrepreneurship, recognizing that it's not always going to be about me being the smartest in the room, because I very well may not be. I may not have learned enough, may not have experienced enough. I may not always have the best marketing and the best presentation because I'm still new in this, but you can't outwork me. And you can try, but you can't outwork me. And that alone, you know, sometimes translates into your mindset, what you do, even how you maneuver, which opens up doors. People notice you. Man, I always see you working hard. Now that becomes a conversation, and then boom, now you've made a connection, built a network with somebody just because they saw you working hard. So my parents instilled in us, work hard, don't let anybody outwork you. And so that I contribute alone, because in God, but that particularly really kind of showed me that as long as I do my part, or told me that as long as I do my part and work hard, I'm going to get whatever I want. It may take long, and sometimes it may happen fast, sometimes it may not, but don't let anybody outwork you. And that, of course, became a mantra. Now, I have adjusted from that, particularly as I've gotten older and kind of started to reach certain levels, because I do recognize that was a beautiful lesson, but that lesson was a little outdated for where I am right now, because now the name of the game is not working hard, it's working smart. Mm-hmm. But the foundation came from being willing to first work hard. So now I work smart. I don't have to overextend myself systematically. I can do stuff, I can schedule stuff and routine stuff, but that's because I've built the hard work. The foundation of hard work is already there. Mm-hmm. So now I'm working smarter because I've already worked harder. So.
Okay, all right. And you gave us some inspiration and some advice over there. Woo!
Yeah, don't work too hard, but definitely work smart. But you got to be willing to work hard. Yeah.
Yeah. But we do this trivia game we're going to go into. We both have one question for you. Okay. So you ready?
I really hope I don't fail this.
No, it's not that kind of trivia. It's
okay,
more of a fun fact. I just like to call it a trivia game. I need to call it the WIBI model booth game.
Okay.
But mine is, if you could eat one type of food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Chicken fried rice. Hands down.
No hesitation. No hesitation.
None.
Right. Chicken fried rice for the rest of your life. That's just what you're going to have. Chicken fried rice.
Lemon pepper wings are right up under that from American Deli, but chicken fried rice, hands down.
Okay. Thought you was about to the health benefits. Yeah, I thought you was about to give us the health benefits or something. The way you.
I don't think it's a lot of butter. It's not a lot of vegetables, but it's really good for you. It'll make you feel better.
Okay, all right. Theo, what you got?
So if you could have a 1 hour conversation with anybody during the entire course of history, anytime, any place, who would that person be, and what's the first question you're asking?
Man, shoot. I would probably talk to Diddy first.
Okay.
Or Love or Sean, whoever he is this season. I would talk to him first. And I would ask him, when you started to acquire a level of success, what was the first change you made? Because I feel like Diddy went from like making beats or something to the back end. And this man is I think he's a billionaire, but at least not a multi-millionaire with a lot of his hands in a lot of stuff. I'm like, what was that change? Like, what said, you know what, let me move into vodka, because I've been doing music and producing groups that didn't last long. But what said, let me go into this partnership with Ciroc and be a 60% partner that Ciroc, what made you do that? That I want to know, when do you, like, what did you get to that point? And was this the first time you got to that point and then made the right decision? Because I'm a believer that like that stuff happens in the right time. But I wonder, like, did that stuff come around before and he didn't recognize it? Because if I'm missing out on opportunities to partner with Hennessy or Remy or whatever may be up and coming, I want to know now, because Diddy made enough money off Ciroc in the first 2 years to none of his children or grandchildren will ever have to work. And that's just one stream. So I'm like, I want to know, like, what was that moment? What did that look like? And you could tell me, I guess you said one question. I'm asking a bunch of questions at this point. You could tell me what to start to look for and when to start to look for it. What would it be?
That's dope. That's dope. I don't think we've had anybody choose Diddy before. I don't want to speak for him, but I can say, just observing his career, he's been very opportunistic as far as being in the right place at the right time. And kind of, I saw one of your posts and it was saying, doing the safe thing is not going to necessarily get you to where you need to be.
Every time.
Yes, I think he may be somebody that embodies that. But yeah, I'd be interested to hear that conversation and where it goes between you and Diddy.
I'll let you know when I have it. Maybe I can bring the crew and we can make it a thing. Because I do believe this. I'm one connection away from, I don't know which connection it is or if that connection is coming, but eventually I'm going to talk to him. Because I DM him all the time. I was like, yo, you might look, the right day, the right notification go off. He might be bored. And next thing you know, I can pick his brain for like 2 minutes. All I need is 2 minutes and I get what I need.
Well, we know you're a big manifester, so manifest it. Coming is coming. But before we get off, shout out your social medias where everybody can follow you.
Yeah. Oh, so my Instagram handle is It's Coach Ev. It's ITSCOACHEV. Twitter, the same thing. Instagram, the same thing. YouTube, the same thing. Like, you can connect with me any place. My website is www.coachev.com. But if you can get to one, it'll lead you to all the rest of them. So definitely connect with me. Or send me a DM if you've had a chance to read this or watch this video. Let's connect. I actually like talking to people on social media. It's a lot of fun. That's actually what it was made for. So definitely shoot me a DM, ask some questions, watch some of the stuff. Let me know your feedback. I've had people tell me that they thought some of my ideologies and thought processes were stupid. Now, perfect. I mean, why? Tell me what yours is. And, so I love those kind of conversations as well. So just kind of reach out, connect. Let's do life together.
All right. Yeah, and there you have it. But I definitely want to say thanks for interviewing with us today. Thanks for being in this issue that just came out in the magazine. I sure appreciate you. I wish you nothing but success for 2022. And I'm following you so I could go ahead and manifest this and go to the next level and work smarter, not harder. Bam, I'm on it.
Love it. Thank you guys.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Theo.
No, that was it. Definitely appreciate you for being on. Definitely we cherish the words of wisdom. We wish you much success in everything that you have going on right now. And maybe we'll catch you on one of those workshops.
Absolutely. I would love to have you guys. I would love to.
Well, let us know when you're back in the A, since you come here, like where you from here.
Will. Yeah, I'm trying to come home next month for Mother's Day.
Okay.
I get to Atlanta and I can't get no work done.
I got you. All right. Well, you have a happy Wednesday. Be blessed, be safe, and we'll catch you soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.